Placing a new line cord on the receiver, a UL knot, and I've got everything unsoldered from the switch. I'll reverse the switch and move it from the ground side over to the hot side, and you can see I've got a fuse holder in place as well. Just a little epoxy there to a free space on the chassis. Just finished getting the fuse holder placed in. I still got to do my tie-in to ground. I'm going to go ahead and get this molded capacitor out. That's across the AC line. I'll put a safety cap in. Just another reason, without extreme caution and care, you never power up one of these old receivers without getting the old capacitors removed and replaced. You can see what was used as a safety cap. Check out the Frosty 25L6 output tube. I already checked for shorts. I didn't have any, not even a flicker. But if I do tube test, look at emissions, you can see it's DOA. Nothing there. So again, always looking for a short first. And you can see the 6 Delta 6 has a short. Let me find a replacement for the 6 Delta. All right, I've got a set of good tubes as far as a tube tester goes. Let me go ahead and use a little bit of deoxit on a brush and go ahead and clean these tube sockets real good. I just finished the recapping of the receiver in addition to replacing all out of tolerance resistors. Got a new line cord on, as you guys saw earlier, the fuse holder. Let me get a fuse in, then we'll power this thing up. Isolation, transformer, variac, monitor current, and I'll try to use that old ballast tube that seems to check good and see if this thing will make any noise. I fibbed when I said I had completely recapped the radio. I've still got the one capacitor here on the antenna coil. I'll go ahead and do the power up since it's more of a passive capacitor. Still need to source another dial lamp as well, just to make sure I don't overload that ballast tube. I'll check the DC resistance of this one, make sure it's good. Just for documentation purposes, in case somebody needs it, I'll go ahead and do the inductance measurements on the oscillator coil while I've got it out of circuit as well. Hey guys, I completed the recapping and replacing all resistors that were out of tolerance on the receiver for the Emerson. But you can hear the audio quality is extremely poor. I've got the voltage just a little north of 100 volts, not to stress the original ballast tube here in the beginning, just checking current closely, drawing about 0.32 amps. But what seems to be flaky is the volume control, or somewhere around the detector stage. So maybe it's just the potentiometer. Let's do a little bit of probing around with the signal tracer. You can see it off to the side. Let's listen to the high side of the volume control. So that sounds pretty clear. Let's look at the wiper that feeds the 6Q7. You hear the audio is low, and as I rotate the volume control back and forth, you can hear it's pretty erratic. So let me recheck the volume control. Look at DC resistance. This is a 500K pot, which was kind of typical back in the day. I've got a few stashed away just in case this is defective. Again, the high side. Let me tune through some stations here.
Part of that data-driven selection is congestion.
So again, that tells us that the RF side's performing well. The audio section of the receiver, it's kind of laid down on us. So let me check this potentiometer again, power everything off. There may be more than one problem. I've got everything disconnected from the volume control side. Let's just check and see what we read here. Alright, reading across the potentiometer, I should be reading about 500,000, which would be 50 there at the top green, if you guys can make that out with the glare. So it's reading well north of that, maybe 800 or so. We'll see what the volume control does. And you can see we've got a bad taper. That's all the way down. Here's the on-off. And you can see them about just under 1 meg, maybe 800. And as I bring the volume up, it actually goes the opposite direction. And now she's starting to climb. There we go. Finally came up, but you can see the carbon track in the potentiometer is probably gone. Let me just flip over here to the other side. Maybe we'll get lucky and the problem would just be the volume control itself. Let me go ahead and get the conductors going back over to the on-off switch disconnected and swap this thing out with another 500K. Before I solder things up, let's see what we have. You can see we're right at 500,000, and there's off. And nice and smooth. Let me reverse the lead from the high side to ground, and we should come back to 500K. And we did. Now drop the volume. So I got the pot out, and it was definitely bad, as you guys saw, but I still have distortion. Volume control's tracking nicely now. But you can hear the distortion itself. Let me turn the volume down. I'm going to check the bias voltage. Should be around -6 or so on the 25L6. Let's see what we have. Again, going from the cathode back over to the grid number 1. And you can see the voltage, if it's showing up there, don't have too much of a glare. It's positive instead of negative. Thus the reason for the distortion. I've already checked the resistor values. They are correct. 500,000 here, and then 140 from the cathode to ground. Let me just swap the tube out, see what we end up with. Let me just listen to the audio here for a moment. That's the grid, and then if we go over to the plate, we turn the volume up a little bit. Again, I tested the tube on the tube tester, and that's no guarantee I didn't make a mistake. And or tube testers are not always 100% accurate once you put the tube in a circuit. I've got another tested good 25L6. Let me throw that in, and let's listen, see what happens. Well, check that out. Negative 5.87. Okay, so it looks like the 25L6 that I tested earlier on the tube tester is defective. I'm going to grab the tube tester and I'm going to recheck it to see what it shows. Two problems here that I had. The volume control 500K being defective, which is now replaced. And then again, I thought maybe I missed the bias resistor or something had opened up, but everything's good there bias wise. Just a defective 25L6. Let me get the tube tester and let's just recheck this thing and see what it shows now. Again, an RF alignment and IF alignment has not been done on the receiver, just recapping and out of tolerance resistors only. She's playing good. Alright, I got the tube in. I'm going to just look at shorts again. Let me just flip the lights down. Looking at the short indicator here. Somewhere around 8,000, and you can see the meter itself is hardly moving, so I'm not sure if the tube went bad in circuit or maybe I just mistested the first time. Definitely a defective tube. Let me grab the other 25L6 that I put in, just double check it. I'll check it for shorts as well. This is the one that plays well. Alright, and you can see amplifier tests were up around 10,000. So I goofed up and tested the tube incorrectly, and or the tube just failed emission wise.
2025 without, and now they lock up Williams for the next couple.